Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 124. So, for the last few days, we focused a lot on Jeffrey Epstein's estate, specifically his estate in the Virgin Islands. And we have come to know that it is an absolute battle royale down there for those funds. And what is very apparent to me is that nobody is really looking out for these survivors besides their lawyers. The Virgin Islands hasn't cared from the beginning, and they don't care now. The executors certainly don't care. And for either party, the executors or Denise George and the Virgin Islands, to act like they care about these survivors is disingenuous at best. Now, just look at it on its face. The Virgin Islands and people in the Virgin Islands who were in powerful positions were being, greased by Jeffrey Epstein. Let's be real, folks. Let's just put it all on the table. They were accepting money from Jeffrey Epstein for politics and Lord knows what else. And Jeffrey Epstein was involved in donating computers to schools and all sorts of things. And because he shrouded himself in his generosity and his charitable works and put money in the right hands, he was able to go on this reign of terror for decades in the Virgin Islands. And now we find out that all the way up till 2018, Jeffrey Epstein was showing up with kids who looked to be as young as 12 to the Virgin Islands. And did they step forward and do anything about it? No, they let him go on with his business and let whatever fate that these young children had waiting for them occur. And now for them to come forward and say that they care, and for them to come forward and interject themselves in this case and call themselves a victim, it is just completely and utterly disgusting to see. So that's what we've been focused on for the last few days mainly. We've been covering that because it's just so ludicrous to watch it unfold. But tonight we're going to hop across the pond, folks, and we're going to talk about our good friend Prince Handsy Andy, the bumbling buffoon, the George Bush of the Mountbatten Windsor clan, folks. What an absolute bumbling moron this guy is. I cannot wait to see what sort of idiocy Prince Andrew is involved in now. So let's jump right into it. The article is from the Daily Mail. Headline: Fury as councils are ordered to mark Prince Andrew's birthday by flying the Union flag. Despite the Duke of York facing mounting pressure over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The article was written by Daniel Hussein for Mail Online. Councils have been ordered to fly the Union Jack at Town Hall buildings on February 19th to mark Prince Andrew's birthday, causing outrage. All right, in all honesty and being transparent, I don't really understand what the councils are in England. I guess it's like a local government buildings or I'm not really too sure. But it is some sort of honor that these government institutions give to certain royals, I guess. And Prince Andrew, being, a high-end royal, was afforded this luxury. And now, though, that he is under the gun and that he's facing not only his enabling of Jeffrey Epstein, but partaking in Jeffrey Epstein's abuse of girls who were trafficked, well, you would think that the English people aren't having it. And from the looks of it, it looks like we're right about that. And to be honest with you, from all of the English people that have contacted me via email that I've talked to about this case, none of them, I mean literally none of them, have came out in defense of Prince Andrew, folks. And that's telling, right? You would think there'd be an outlier, at the very least one or two people coming out and saying, oh, this is bullocks or this is BS, we don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. But literally I've had none of that. The Duke of York, who is facing intense scrutiny over his relationship with pedophile billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, turns 60 this month. Well, that's nice. They at least called him the pedophile billionaire. I didn't have to correct them. That's progress. Now, town halls have now received an email telling them to mark the occasion despite the Queen canceling her son's formal celebration in November following his disastrous Newsnight interview. Why would they celebrate his birthday? I don't even understand. Who thought that that would be a good idea? All right, well, the prince has to step back from his public life, and he's no longer administering to his duties, but let's make sure that we still celebrate this moron's birthday. That's going to go over well with the masses. That's a great idea. It makes me wonder what's going on in Buckingham Palace. Are they working towards the downfall of the Windsor clan? Because that's certainly what it looks like, folks. The message was sent by civil servant Matt Stevenson, private secretary to Dame Melanie Dawes. Oh, Dame Melanie Dawes sounds fancy. However, the move has been slammed by council, with critics branding it ridiculous. Well, yeah, that's a pretty fair assumption, a pretty fair statement. It is ridiculous. Why would anybody be celebrating anything about Prince Andrew at this point in time? The dude's a coward. He's hiding from authorities. He refuses to talk. He won't even come forward with knowledge that he might have that could put other people who are involved in jail. And I thought that's what an honorable man would do, right? We're not talking about somebody who was involved in doing dirt with their friends. We're not talking about somebody who was involved in a bank robbery. We're talking about somebody who was involved in a trafficking ring here, folks, okay? This is a guy who knows a lot more than he's said about Jeffrey Epstein, obviously, and a man who refuses to come forward and speak to authorities. Yet this is a guy whose birthday should be celebrated by regional councils? Yeah, I highly doubt that's going to fly with the English people, folks. Andrew stepped back from his royal duties last year following his TV interview amid claims that he forced Epstein's abuse victim, Virginia Roberts, then 15, to have sex with him. The Duke of York strongly denies the allegations. The order to mark his birthday by flying the Union Jack flag has caused fury. Yeah, good. I am glad. Now, I never even knew anything about the Union Jack flag being raised for a royal's birthday. And again, as I've said several times on the podcast, I'm sorry, my English friends, but this is so archaic. A monarchy? I mean, really? You guys, certainly the English people do not need a king. Certainly the English people do not need a queen. I mean, let's be honest here. Why are the English people still pumping money into this just absolute shit show? These royals are an absolute shit show. Deputy Labour leadership candidate Ian Murray said, "This protocol has to be binned given the allegations against the prince." Score one for Deputy Labour leadership candidate Ian Murray, in my opinion. MP Wes Streeting said, "This would be wholly inappropriate. It should be knocked on the head immediately." I love the English slang, folks. I gotta tell you, when the English start getting into their slang words, it cracks me up. It should be knocked on the head immediately. That's great. Can you imagine hearing like Lindsey Graham say something like that? Yeah. A council source told The Sun, making this gesture while there is a cloud hanging over the Duke is hugely insulting to Epstein's victims and those wanting answers. 100%. Imagine being one of the survivors let's just go straight to the source. Imagine being Virginia Roberts and seeing these people want to hang the Union Jack because they're celebrating Andrew's birthday. A man that was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, a man that enabled the abuse that Jeffrey Epstein engaged in, a man that not only looked the other way and enabled the abuse, a man who actually partook in the abusing of Virginia Roberts. And they're going to raise a flag and celebrate this dude? Come on, man. Another insider added, "It seems ridiculous." The government doesn't appear to be noticing what has happened recently or factoring in the mood of the nation. And I think that's important because we see it from the ground level, because we're interacting with our peers across the globe who are interested in this story. And I have people that I talk to who are in Australia. I have people I talk to in Japan, people I talk to in Eastern Europe, people I talk to in England, people I talk to in France, people I talk to in Canada, etc., etc. And these are the people who are, they're not having it. And if you think the English people are any different, there is zero chance that the English people are going to accept this story being pushed to the side or this man getting away without answering any questions just because he's a royal. It's just not going to happen this time. It comes as a new witness claims she saw Prince Andrew dancing with Virginia Roberts at Tramp nightclub because it was the same night she accidentally stood on the royal's foot. Lawyer Lisa Bloom, who represents 5 women who claim to have been sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein, revealed she has a 6th client who says she witnessed the Duke of York with Miss Roberts dancing together in 2001. And folks, look, you know I am very skeptical of Lisa Bloom. In fact, I did a whole entire thing about Lisa Bloom, a closer look. I am not a fan of Lisa Bloom. I am not a fan of Gloria Allred. But if they have these witnesses that are coming forward and these ladies have been abused by Jeffrey Epstein, and this other lady saw Prince Andrew there, then we have to hear what they have to say, right? Even though the lawyer is kind of disgusting, you know, it doesn't mean that these girls' stories don't matter. So we always have to we have to be sure that, you know, when it's someone like Lisa Bloom, we've got to make sure she's not just looking for attention, though, because that is something she is known for. So it bothers me that she's involved in this case on any level, but at the same time, if she's going to bring some notoriety to the case and get more eyes looking at what's going on, then I'm totally cool with that as well. Miss Roberts claims she was trafficked by convicted sex offender Epstein and alleges Prince Andrew slept with her on 3 separate occasions, including when she was just 17. Andrew, who strenuously denies the allegations, is facing calls to talk to the FBI and U.S. prosecutors. Well, look, he was the one who came out and said that he would talk to the authorities willingly. So why doesn't he just go ahead and do that? Why is it all of a sudden that he's going to ground? Why is he, hiding now? Just come forward, talk to the authorities the way you said you would, and put this all behind you. Isn't that what you want to do, Prince Andrew? Didn't you want to put a line under this, Prince Andrew? Miss Bloom told a press conference in New York that the girl stepped on Andrew's foot by mistake while dancing next to him, and her friend pointed out who he was. She said she thought it to herself, "Oh my God, I'm in the presence of a royal." It was a very big moment to her. She says that she gawked at him because he was a prince. After she was done staring at him for quite some time, she looked at who he was with, and it was a very young girl about her age. And in the photographs that she has seen since, she identifies that young woman or girl as Virginia Roberts. Well, if this witness is willing to go on the record and come forward and say that in court transcripts and while sworn under oath, then it's someone that has to be believed, right? We know Virginia Roberts was there. Do I wish Lisa Bloom wasn't involved? Of course I do. But that doesn't discount the fact that this girl has come forward and she has said that she saw Prince Andrew there. So look, the evidence is mounting, folks. It's very hard for me to believe that anyone in good conscience could think that Prince Andrew is being truthful at this point. He is not. Everything that this man says should be taken with a grain of salt at this point, and we have to remember who he ran with. And we have to remember that Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew are thick as thieves. They both come from the same school. They both know the deal, and they're both getting the same sort of advice right now. Shut your mouths. And that is exactly what Prince Andrew plans to do. I would be shocked if he came forward on his own at this point. He is going to have to be compelled to speak under oath about Jeffrey Epstein because, folks, it's obvious to anyone who's paying attention that he has a whole bunch to hide. All right, everybody, if you'd like to contact me, you could do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. Also, if you would like to help support the podcast and get us out to some of these locations like our upcoming Santa Fe trip, you can do that by clicking on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. All right, everybody, I will be back tomorrow morning with a morning update, and we'll do it all over again because you know what? It was so much fun exposing these scumbags this time. I figure why don't we just do it again tomorrow and every day that follows. All right, everybody, enjoy your night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.